Welcome to our Metal Reactions channel. I'm Brad.
I'm Alena.
We've been having a great time taking a journey through metal with you and each other.
If you enjoy our videos and would like to support us, now you can do so on Patreon.
It's €1 and will help us to put out more frequent and better quality videos. You can find the link in the description below. So we are doing a new band. This is Opeth, Swedish band.
No idea.
So, this is actually a hole in my own metal database as well. I've always meant to get around to listening to Opeth and just never have. This particular song, I think I have heard once or twice, but this is probably the only Opeth song that I do know. So there was something called Roadrunner United, which was a whole bunch of members of bands signed with the label Roadrunner. They came and made an album, like taking the drummer from that band and the singer from that band and the guitarist of that band.
Okay.
And they made a whole, I think it was like a double CD album like that. I listened to it a lot. So I know the lead vocalist from one of those songs. So I do know his voice well, and I really like his voice, both clean singing and growls. So that's my biggest knowledge of them. And as I said, I always wanted to hear more. So today's that day.
Okay.
Let's get into it. This is Harlequin Forest live at the Royal Albert Hall, which is in London. So we've been for a walk just outside there, quite close to us. Now the video says, oh, you've been inside.
Yes.
The video says high def, but it's in 360p. So whatever.
I met Bruce Dickinson today. I kept my cool, actually. He was pretty cool. Is that?
I don't understand what you say.
Oh, did he fly me in his plane? Is that funny in England? Because in Sweden, it's not funny. Fuck Sweden. We're gonna move forward to the Ghost Rivers record. Notice the change in tone when I introduced that record? I said, we're gonna move forward to the Ghost Rivers record. We signed to Roadrunner Records, put this one out. By this time, Per Wiberg had joined the band. He's drunk. And we were, what's it called? 5-piece. Shut up. This song is called Harlequin Forest. Into the trees, past meadow ground, and further away from my home. Laying behind me, I hear to blame. Insane regrets of the drop. Instruments of death to be for man. Wow. Two soldiers able ill, and the battle was justified. Because pistol demons, as death becomes a jest. From the laughing stock of the anti-minded, confession stuck in your mouth. Look at the mystery of it.
Okay, now I know that Swedish people have a sense of humor. That's good to know.
It's like legitimately a stand-up like comedy performance.
Yeah, I know. It took like quite a long time at the beginning. I'm far more likely to like a person singing when he makes jokes at the beginning.
And I actually previously explained to you the whole Bruce Dickinson has like, 747 pilot, etc., etc. So now you got that whole reference with Iron Maiden.
Oh, well. Yeah, well, I mean, I like the melody. I actually just now realized that probably this music like is quite heavy. It doesn't feel that way.
Not anymore.
No. But I mean, there are quite a lot of instruments there, and I do like how this like electric guitar goes like one tone high and just makes the whole melody. Yeah, it's super nice, and I didn't expecting a growl there because I noticed there was like this sort of medium tonal voice, but then it went higher on the chorus, and then there was this whole different growl there.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting like placement, like quite unexpected. The instruments for me are what is like blowing my mind. It's so compact. Like there's so much happening.
Yeah, intense.
Yeah, like I'm just picturing like the sheet music for this must be like pages and pages and pages and pages already, because there's so much in every second of real time. There's so many notes in there, whether it be like the guitars, the drums. You can even hear the bass guitar in pieces.
But it doesn't feel like overwhelming. It's just very organic.
And it's, despite like how condensed everything is, it creates a nice atmosphere and a flow and a feel to it.
Yeah.
Eternally helpless, weak in the light, depending on a prayer, pacing deserted roads to find a seed of home.
It's like they forgot that the song was supposed to end.
There was a glitch. It got stuck on repeat.
Yeah, they just sort of fuck the song. We just continue playing. We enjoy it.
I couldn't actually even headbang to the last part because I didn't know where to go. I didn't have the rhythm. I think I need to listen to that ending many more times before I know. Okay, this is where we go now. It was just
it was a bit distorted, but in a good way.
Yeah, like very progressive and interesting, and not the same old 4 beats of 4. Let's go.
Just Well, I mean, musically it's super rich. So it's just changing pace, changing the sound, like from super heavy to almost acoustic. I did like this acoustic part with...
Well, acoustic or just guitar by itself? It wasn't necessarily acoustic. I didn't see an acoustic guitar.
Well, I don't know. Okay.
Electric guitar, the guitar.
Just it was like two soft. Guitars were talking between each other.
Okay.
And basically, like the whole focus, I think, is more on instruments, like with super large pauses between the lyrics.
Mm.
Yeah, those guys definitely enjoy what they do.
Instrumentally loved it. It's so interesting to listen to music like that where, I mean, like, I just have to accept that those people, like, they're on wavelengths of music that I will never be able to comprehend. Like, I will never be able to know every note and piece of what's going on in that song. My brain is not big enough. And I'm perfectly okay with that because that's the enjoyment. It's nice to just know that there's this whole other world of like this level of craftsmanship and expertise that I will just never be able to comprehend. Yeah.
And they still got their sense of humor. That's just brilliant.
Super, super enjoyable. I need to listen to that song more, and I definitely want to hear more Opeth in general.
Yeah, I also enjoyed it very much. I didn't expect that.
Okay. Lyrically?
What do you think?
Okay, so I can't piece it all together. I'm getting 2 halves to a song, or at least 2 pieces to it, which does fit with the light vocals and the growls, firstly. Okay. So it is fitting in that way. So we've got Harlequin Forest. The beginning of the song very much feels like I just have this image of this person running through the forest being chased, right? Into the trees, past meadow grounds, and further away from my home. Baying behind me, I hear the hounds, flocks chasing to find me alone. So it's almost like those, you know that like old sport where I don't know, it would be the hunting dogs would be chasing this animal or whatever, except he's the animal trying to escape,
trying to get away.
Then a trail of sickness leading to me. If I am the haunted, then you will see. And I thought haunted, like the first time I read that, I thought hunted, but actually it's haunted. Maybe that's a play on words. I'm not sure. So this is all very much the forest part, nothing to do with Harlequin yet. Searching the darkness and emptiness, I'm hiding away from the sun. Will never rest, will never be at ease. All my matter's expired, so I run. So now it's starting to feel more like metaphor than actual literal. I mean, clearly he's not literally being chased by dogs and stuff through a forest. I'm sure this is a metaphor for something. I'm not quite sure what. There falls another, vapor hands release the blade, insane regrets at the drop, instruments of death before me. Now I start to not really know where we're going with this, what the metaphor is trying to explain. Then it goes into lose all to save a little. At your peril, it's justified. That's quite a cool line. Lose all to save a little, right? Are you willing to lose everything just to save a little bit? But at your peril, it's justified. At your death, if this is the end, then it's justified to lose everything just to save a little. Then that's your little bit you have left. Dismiss your demons as death becomes a jest. So jest, clown, harlequin.
Just it's like a joke, right?
Yeah. You are the laughing stock, laughing again, of the absent-minded. Now, absent-minded, I don't know if that's a phrase he's invented or if that is reference to something, because normally you talk about absent-minded, and absinthe would be what presumably give you hallucination or something like that. So I think it's a really cool way to say, hallucination. Not sure. Confessions stuck in your mouth and long gone fevers reappear. So again, it's this whole, this very much is feeling like a fever dream at this point. Like it's not a lot's making sense. It's very descriptive and emotive. Like you can feel you're in this whatever's happening, but I'm struggling to make sense of what's actually happening.
I think it was actually the part this one was when it was growing.
Yeah, and so when it then changed into the growling here, thanks for reminding me, then it's felt like it was going into the Harlequin part, away from the forest part. Nocturnally helpless and weak in the light, depending on a prayer, pacing deserted roads to find a seed of hope. Seed, back to forest again. There are trees, rotten pulp inside, and never well roots are sucking, thieving from my source, tired bows reacting to the light. So now we're getting back into the forest, but now instead of running away from the forest, it feels like he's describing the forest and its sort of decay. And I mean, it goes into the rest of the song talking about things like this. So it's all false pretension, Harlequin forest awaiting redemption for a lifetime as they die alone and no one by their side are they forgiven. Stark determination poisoning the soul, unfettered beast inside, claiming sovereign control. And now the woods are burning, tearing life crops asunder, useless blackened remains still pious smouldering. So this forest is destroyed for some reason here. Now, I'm wondering if the forest was his place of refuge, like his safe harbor where he was escaping to, but now this forest is just completely decaying and being destroyed. And I don't know what the song means from here, but the imagery alone is very striking. It's like quite poetic and emotive in the way that it's written. I'm just not sure what this metaphor means.
Well, I think that this whole thing kind of has a ballady feeling about it.
Okay.
And also, I think in the music they were also using some sort of folk motifs somewhere.
Okay.
Well, in some parts, at least that's what it seemed. So, and I also like the use of the of the harsh growling here,
Okay.
like at the exact parts where it was, in my opinion, needed, because like to me it's more like a fairy tale. So like this character runs away from home, from something, we don't know what, so runs into the forest, and there's this part that falls another vapor hands release the blade. So there was some character. And also, what do you think the instruments of death are in the forest? I think it's basically the things to cut the trees. So there was someone who was cutting the trees, but now this falls, like that person falls, dies or whatever.
Okay.
And then this running person has to take his place. And I think, I don't know, to me this feels like there is this deal with the devil, you know, like you're at the crossroads and you meet this evil spirit in the ballad, and you make a deal. So you're going to take the place of this person with instruments of death, or you have basically have nowhere else to go because you're running from home. And that's why it was growling, because it was another like this supernatural figure talking to this runner, and actually it fits because it says you are the laughing stock, and it basically addresses the whole piece to probably that person.
Change perspective here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and imagine in this fairy tale, in this ballad, so the person takes those instruments and becomes the woodcutter instead of that person, but then he realizes that those trees, they also so it's kind of a devilish forest with the dark, those trees, they're actually alive, and they have those like dark matter inside of them, you know, like here it says rotten pulp inside and never well, but they still sort of reach for the light with their branches, but then because he made this deal, he has to cut the whole forest, and nothing is left at the end.
That kind of ties back to in the beginning where it was talking about if I am haunted. So now it's feeling like a haunted forest.
Yeah, so it's kind of, if we talk fairy tale, maybe some people turned into trees or something like that because of their sinful nature or something.
And because maybe if he's the one that's haunted and now he's been turned to be part of this forest ecosystem, he himself is causing this forest to become haunted and rotten, stuff like that, maybe?
I think he's like unwillingly becomes the instrument of their death, even though he doesn't want to. And also they're like thieving from my source. So he still comes from the outside, from the light, and they're stealing his light because in this dark forest they don't have enough light. So they're looking for every, occasion where they can...
tired boys reaching for the light.
Exactly. So in terms of this fairy tale, for me, it's kind of complete here. Like a dark tale of a person who became a curse and had to cut those trees, which were maybe some, cursed people in this tale.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. To me, it also feels like if we project it, maybe because he is a musician and the bands. Like, imagine when you see the crowd of people in the dark raising their hands. What would it look like?
Forest, trees.
Exactly, branches. and feeling from my source. That's what kind of they're doing, no?
It's dark.
This is dark. I think it's like about maybe this power of a person to, because this whole like forest of people are reaching out, so they have the power to destroy it or not.
Okay.
So it's this big responsibility. And, if it doesn't specifically say here what the instruments of death are. Maybe it's the musical instruments.
Could be a play.
So I found it, like, really, really cute. Like a tale.
Dark, but cute.
I like dark tales. So to me, it's very appealing.
Okay.
And together with the music, I think it's very, very nice.
Creative interpretation.
Well, I don't know what it was supposed to be, so
I don't know either.
yeah.
Okay. Hopefully you guys know and can let us know if there is some specific meaning to this. Please do let us know. And so you would like to hear Opeth again?
Yeah, definitely.
Can you let us know what else to do from Opeth? Because it'll be new for me as well. I don't really know where to go in the Opeth rabbit hole here.
Yeah. I'm gonna suggest like songs to put on the poll and then
Yeah.
vote for the one.
Okay.
For the one and only.
Hopefully not one.
Not only.
Hopefully one of many. The
One
first
of many. The first of many. The second of many.
Second of many. Okay. Well, thanks, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you for watching.